I don't know. I don't know what's around the Chris Commons. I don't know what the ins and outs of that
What was I going to say there? I had a point in my head and it's gone. That's completely gone. Totally gone. So let's move on to Saturday afternoon. Sorry, I'm full of cheese here.
For fuck's sake. Do you want me to talk about Saturday afternoon?
Just a lot of food. Listen, if I could share it with you, if there was some sort of like digital way I could send you some crackers and cheese and a bit of this sort of green mustard, I would. But sadly, your wife doesn't love you as much as mine does. So.
Right. But if you maybe stop chewing while you're talking.
Sorry.
You don't shut your gob for 5 fucking minutes so you do a show.
It's more social this way. For me, anyway.
I'm
sitting here on my own. Right. So, the draw was made, and finally, it happened. Which I actually thought this year was going to be it. And it's turned out to be the case. League Cup semi-final. Either end of January or start of February, 31st of January or
1st of February.
1st of February, one or the other.
At the minute, it'll be the Sunday game, 1st of February, or it'll be midweek.
Be an early kickoff or 3 o'clock kickoff? You think?
I think it'll be early, but I think they maybe put it to midweek. I don't know. What do you think, Paul?
It has been mentioned. I know Celtic they didn't want it to be in midweek, but I think it has been mentioned being midweek because, let's face it, the potential for bother at this game is absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from that. You know what I mean? It's not the same club, but as we said last week, it's the same venom, it's the same hatred, and it's all that. So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know what they're going to do. But I know Celtic didn't want it to be a midweek game. They would rather have it on the Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I was at a wedding on Saturday, so I got a text, and I was kind of like, everybody's like, what do you think? I said, I'm delighted. I said, I'm sick hearing about these fucking idiots. I said, I'm going to shut that prick my guy's face up. Once and for all kind of thing, because I actually did watch most of their game on Tuesday against St Johnstone, and quite frankly, I think we could pull 11 guys for the stand to give them a game. They're that bad. I'm rubbing my hands at the prospects of the likes of Guidetti and that against Lee McCulloch and people like that. So, I think it's the right time to play them. I think Hampden's the best venue probably for our first ever game, and I'm saying bring it on. There's 3 teams left in the competition. We got the weakest one. I'm delighted.
No, I liked what Ronnie Daly said. That he said, there's 3 teams we could have got, and we didn't get the hardest team.
And of course, he gets slated for that. Tell me what's no factual about that.
Yeah.
Aye, we're putting a team for the lower league.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting now we've got 2 Glasgow derbies. So that's a plus point for me. Whether they'll give us any competition in the short term, I don't see it. I can see us absolutely destroying them.
Oh, I hope so.
Absolutely destroying them. Because Celtic will be like coiled springs. The support are obviously mixed. Some guys are saying they don't want to go to it because they don't want to legitimise who they are. Other people can't wait to go to it. So it's a mixed bag. Me, myself, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to all the crap in the media that dress up this tag that is factually incorrect as far as I'm concerned about Old Firm. But that's the way they want to go. That's the way they'll go. It's the same supporters. It's the same strips. It's the same stadium. It's a different team. But at the end of the day, they've got a lot of the same variables that the old Rangers had. So for that case, you want to stick it into them and you want to sort of beat them by as much as you can.
Yeah, but we have John Guidetti. They have John Daly. Let's be honest.
No, Joe, there's no taking away from it. If Celtic turn up, and if Celtic even bring their B game, Celtic will wipe the floor with them with their B game. We don't need to be at the top of our game to win this game. We could win 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 by playing shite.
Yeah.
If we play good, just get the abacus out.
But I think by then, Jason, what you've kind of told me about Dela, the people like the characters like Guidetti, and the sort of steely sort of determination, and I'm sort of seeing break through here. I think by the time we get the Rangers, we're gonna fucking steamroll them. I mean, steamroll them, like to the point where it's gonna be like just like. It'll possibly be very, very quiet by half time. You know what I mean?
Well, Dundee United went to Ibrox last season in the semi-final and didn't play well at all, and were still streets ahead of them.
Mm-hmm. I watched that game.
It wasn't even a competition really. And it's like just in terms of ability and the players we've got. I mean, our midfield against their midfield. I mean, it's like Kenny Miller and Chris Boyd against Virgil van Dijk. I mean, give me a fucking break. Man. It's just no. I mean, I was watching that game on Tuesday, as I say, sitting in the house, and there was a ball went up in the air, and Chris Boyd had to wait about 25 minutes for the ball to fucking come down to him before he didn't even challenge for the ball. I mean, they're just not the same players that they were. The boy McLeod's not a bad player. I know there's a bit of consternation about him getting picked for Scotland or whatever. I don't really care about that. But, they're playing me fucking Lee McCulloch as a centre-half. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, if we can't fucking punish that, we'd be as well geeing up. And we know that it'll go against us in terms of the referee and the media coverage and all that, but there's absolutely fuck all the way to do about our 11 players on the park who I'm positive will just wipe the floor with them.
And John Guidetti was said as much. He said whoever's going to be at Hampton is going down. I mean,
I like that one.
I like John Guidetti. Man, fantastic. But I mean, in all honesty, this is a bigger game for them than it is for us.
Of course it is.
This is what they've been waiting for to validate their existence so far. I mean, the tribute actor up against the real deal, and I guarantee it's going to blow up big time in their faces. Right? And I can't wait to see it. I just can't.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jason?
Aye, I'm not really trying to think about it too much, to be honest with you, mate. But it's I've got absolutely no doubts that we'll wipe the floor with them, because that Celtic team will be like coiled springs. See, at the end of the day, right, we are fans, right? So we've got our own opinions. I work in Glasgow City Centre every day. I mix with Rangers fans and stuff like that. And your normal punter on the street, the crap that they went through, guys that just wanted to go and watch a football team that didn't have all the baggies, that's a lot of the Neanderthals that I've got. You kind of, human nature, you kind of feel a bit sorry for them, right? And I'm maybe get shot down for that, but that's just the way it is. But they've got a football team now, and the football team are going to play us. They're miles away from us. They're absolutely miles away from us. But we've got guys there kids that are playing with our football team now, they've always heard of these old firm games, and they've heard of these great atmospheres. These boys will be delighted getting into this. They'll be like coiled springs when that game comes. They'll be wanting to ram it down their throats. And we've got a manager now. We always had one last year with Lennon, but that knew what it was all about. But this manager we've got, I'm sure he can't wait till this game takes place, because he wants to be in the big stage. He's a guy not to be messed with, which me and Paul will kind of cover later on. He's the guy, I think he's going to take our club to sort of good heights, and I'm really, really positive. And put it this way, there won't be any passengers in that Celtic team come the end of January, the start of February. I've got no doubt about that.
So you think that kid at the Kano the other week was right when he said to Dyla, "You're the next Jack Stein"?
You never know. You never know, mate. We live in hope. We live in hope. I always remember Martin O'Neill, when Martin O'Neill came, one of the things he said at the door of Celtic Park, and it's always a kind of barometer for me. Someone asked Martin O'Neill, do you think you'll be as good as Jock Stein? Or words to that effect. And Martin O'Neill says, well, I want to be better than him. And that says everything to me about somebody's character. Then they never want to accept to just live up to half as good. See, folks say, if I was half as good as him, I'll be delighted. That's just not what you want to hear. You want to say, I want to be the best. I want to be the best there's ever been.
Yeah, I want you to remember me. Right?
So, sorry, mate, mister.
Him saying sort of, I want you to remember me for me being me. I mean, and we do.
Aye. And I'm sure Ronnie Dyla, I'm sure he's not got any that he's wanting to be half as good as. I'm sure he's his own man. And he's going to, I think he's going to leave his mark there.
Jesus, we are such fickle people. Only fucking weeks ago we were slating the guy.
Totally, mate. Totally. Football fans, isn't it? Football fans.
So let's get down to it then. Yeah. The meeting. We talk about that now? Might as well just go into it now, because it's 8:30 now, so that's how we can get a good bit of mileage out of this. So why don't you explain to sort of the folks at home how this came about and kind of what happened?
Paul, and what Paul do?
Basically, Celtic have been pressing us, this network, for about a year now, to go to these meetings, and we weren't really overly happy with it, because we didn't want to go in and say, now, because we represent people listening to the show or anything like that, because we don't. Of course we don't. People represent themselves. and pushing, and then it got to the point where everybody, and I mean everybody at Celtic, was pushing for us to go. So we kind of said, right, you know what? I said, well, who is everybody, every faction of support, you know, the Green Brigade, all that kind of thing, are they all going to get invited? Because if it's going to be just hand-selected, you know, same people over, then we're no, they're definitely there. So right, we decided, myself and Jason, to go along and at least get a chance and go in with an open mind, because at the end of the day, whatever anybody thinks, our kind of raison d'etre is to unite the Celtic supporters and to, you know, make sure Celtic prosper. And so we went, there was like 30 people there, and this is, you know, an ongoing thing that's going to happen with all sorts of different fans. The other fans will be getting invites to meetings like this and stuff like that, and this is one of the big things that Celtic are completely changing through John Paul Taylor, who's been pushing for this regular input of fans, different fans all the time going in and that kind of thing. So we went, and it was loads of people there who were there, you know, from the CSA, the North American Federation, the Irish, the Celtic Trust, the Green Brigade, you know, every sort of parts, organisations, that, because they wanted to bring us in under the Hail Hail Media banner. And so from that was who was there from fan side, from Celtic side. John Paul Taylor chairing the meeting. There was Peter Lawwell was there, Ronnie Dyler. Basically, the entire management structure of Celtic was there. Ian Jameson, Ronnie Hawthorne, Adrian Fulby, Kevin McQuillan. You know, everybody who's anybody basically was there. And so that was a kind of the format. And so, you know, I think me and Jason had went into it with a fairly open mind, fairly sceptical and cynical about the whole thing, but, you know, willing to get a chance, because, you know, whatever anybody thinks, there's just no happening at Celtic right now, you know, in terms of the actual club. Stands are empty, we're not really going anywhere. So we went into it with an open mind, and it took place in the number 7 restaurant on Monday, and I'll let Jason say how it started.
So, cheers for that. So, right, I'm going to be brutally honest here, right? So we've got no agenda or whatsoever, right? So everybody was there representing stuff, but some of the questions asked, right? You've got 2 hours. You've got 2 hours of 30 people, and you've got the full Celtic boardroom and the manager in front of you, and people were asking questions about bus parks and stuff like that, and other sort of, to me, they were just questions that could be asked at any time, you know.
Yeah, that, right?
And it was. I think it was ruining valuable time with Peter Law. That's my take on it. I don't mean to be disrespectful to other people that were there, but that's my take on it. Me and Paul spoke about it, and Paul agrees. So you're not just getting me to take the flag here, Paul.
No, it was. You know, I think people are champing at the bit, and then the first question's about, you know, can a car park be extended? And the next one's about tickets, and then one's about police protection at Brigton Cross. It's like, well, that's not why we're here. So, you know, kind of got into it, and I'll not go into this part of it, but the first question I asked was about the cheating, basically. And then, you know, I had a wee bit of ding-dong with Peter Lawwell about that, but we'll leave that, you know, off the side now, because it's kind of ongoing. Then there was various things around that, and then I'll let Jason take up slack on the summer football, which was really interesting.
Yeah. So Liam Power does writes for Hail Hail Media. Liam asked a question about summer football. So then basically we put it to Peter about what's the chances? We've never seen it in any mandate or has it ever been discussed. And to sort of my shock and horror, it had been discussed at Scottish level frequently, and Celtic had always panned it back. So then I asked the question, why? Because I gave quite a few positives. Well, in fact, I didn't. He gave me the reason first. And the rationale for Celtic knocking back summer football was because most people in Glasgow go their holidays in the Glasgow Fair, and because you'd missed 2 games of the season, you might not buy a season ticket.
Yeah, that's just...
And we were like, what? So I started saying to him, right, right, this is the reason why it would be good. We're up against English Premiership, blah, blah, blah. We're teams in Scotland, they're just basically, it's a given that every one of them, apart from Celtic, get knocked out in the first round of Europe. You know, so Scottish football's dying in its arse. We're losing a generation of kids going to watch English football. So I gave him all this, and he sat there as if like he hadn't thought of that kind of stuff. Or he's And what the point I want to put across as well is we've slagged